bedtime stories. They were a favorite, and my dad often would tell stories. He was well-traveled, he had a medical practice, and he loved alternative medicine. Out of this came my interest for human physiology. And when I combined my curiosity of that with my love of being physically active, I knew the program I wanted to take at the University of Victoria. It was called the Bachelor of Science, Human Performance. To apply required 2 sweat-filled days where you were evaluated on your fitness, your strength, your ability to do a variety of sports, your GPA, and your oral presentation as to why you wanted into the program. When the evaluation was finished, we sat in the lobby of the McKinnon gym and names were being called out. And I was nervous, a little bit like today, and I had a knot in my stomach, and they were coming up to H's. My last name was Horton, and all of a sudden I realized they were at L's. My name had not been called. I was disappointed. But when one has passion, one also has determination, and I was determined. So that year, I improved my fitness, I improved my GPA, and I applied again. And yes, I made it through the second time. In my program, I enjoyed all the classes, well, not all of them, but most of them. And I also volunteered. I volunteered in anatomy and human physiology and at the UVic Sport and Fitness Center. And when I graduated, I had an opportunity to apply for a dream job. And believe it or not, I got it. So I became the coordinator of the UVic Human and Exercise Physiology Laboratory Program and the coordinator of the UVic Sport and Fitness Testing Center. It was a job I loved. I loved the people I worked with, I loved the students, and I loved working with the elite national and professional athletes. 7 years later, on my birth of my second daughter, I needed to make work adjustments, so I pulled back and I just did very part-time jobs and some contract work. And when 2 of my 3 daughters were in high school, I landed a contract with the Heart and Stroke Foundation as policy assistant. It was 2008. I got a call from my boss. He said, "Come, let's go for coffee." So when I walked into the coffee shop, he was sitting under the window, and I went over and sat down, but he was very serious. And he said, "Dawn, I have not slept for 3 nights. And I kind of went, okay. And he said, with the recession, we have to cut back, and I have to let you go. And I sat there and I stared, and of course, tears welled up and tipped over and ran down my cheeks. And I said, "Thank you for the opportunity that you've given me," and I left. I mean, what was there to say? He hated doing it, and I was devastated. On the way home, I chose to let a track of my head begin. I began to say, you know, I wasn't good enough. I'm not smart enough. Who was I to think I could land a job as the jobs I had had earlier in my life? And so it became a time of low confidence. And I was creating well-worn neural pathways in my brain and my mind that I was not good enough. I began the slow climb out of this rut by making a choice. I joined the Camosun College BEST program. The program was for people who didn't know what they wanted to do. And there I was. I walked in, I sat down at a table. I was one of the oldest. I definitely was one of the most experienced. And the kids at the table could have been my children. But I took a step and I said, "What am I doing here?" I said, "Dawn, it doesn't matter. Step at a time, learn all you can." So I did, and I came out a bit stronger. I listened to motivational tapes, I took up a part-time job, and my confidence began to grow. But the real hard work for me was in the rewiring of the incredible neuroplasticity of my mind with positive thoughts. My girls now had graduated, and 2 months before my parents had died, and I stood in the kitchen and I asked myself for the millionth time, what am I going to do? I knew I wanted to be a difference maker, but what? And a thought bubbled up from the subconscious of my mind, and it caught me off guard. I remembered 10 years earlier on a house tour, seeing something posted on a wall, and when I read it, I went, oh, I really like that. And I had remembered this, and it began to rekindle my passion. And I knew what I wanted to do. It was a genial moment. Hard work. It was hard work, a lot of realigning of my thoughts, and I went back to school. And I'm here today to tell you I am one exam away from my certification as an international life coach. So the clients I work with, and I'm presently working with, they're motivated professionals who want to be difference makers, who want to take their dreams and morph them into reality, and they want to make their passion bigger than their fears. Thank you.
Very touching, Dawn. Thank you so much. Let us again take a minute and provide some constructive feedback.